Hey guys, it's Pressley. Welcome back to Cool Conversations. I am so excited to be joined by Raegan today. Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited. You obviously, I'm pretty sure everybody knows you as, Missy. But if you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself and how you got started, that would be awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. By the way, I'm so excited. I'm Raegan. I'm a crazy bookworm cat person. I've been acting since I was 4. I've technically been writing since I was 5, but then my first book just came out a month ago, so it's been a long process.
Yay.
But yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me.
Okay, first of all, I love that you're such a bookworm. I literally love reading so much, so I love meeting people who also love to read.
Kindred spirits.
It's literally like my favorite thing ever. And obviously, you've had such an amazing acting career, and you started, you said, when you were 4. And did you start on Young Sheldon, or was that not your first
So
project?
when I was 4 years old, my mom had a friend who owned an agency, and she asked to rep me. We were like, this will be a fun little hobby. It'll be like a year-long thing. Here we are, and I'm almost 18 and still doing it. It was not a little hobby. And so I kind of started off just doing like commercials and modeling. And then when I was like 6 years old, I happened to see a commercial I was in. I was like, this is so cool. And I told my parents, I was like, I want to do movies and TV. And so we were like, wow, this isn't just a little hobby.
Yeah.
I got on to Modern Family. That was like my first big thing. And I didn't know what it was called at the time, but I told my parents, I was like, I want to be on set every day and not have to audition for it. So basically, I wanted to be a series regular in something.
Gotcha.
Didn't know what that was. And then when I was like, I say a new 9 because I was like a month into being 9, I got the audition for Young Sheldon and booked it, and just it entirely changed my life.
Which I was going to say, that's an insane show to be a part of. Obviously, it's gone on for like how many seasons?
It was 7 seasons.
Wow. So you basically grew up on that show.
Yes.
So like kind of what was it like growing up like on a set that you were like consistently just like working all the time? And I'm sure like you've built like a crazy bond with those people. It's like probably like your family. So like what was that like experience like basically growing up?
It was amazing. It was such a beautiful set to be a part of. I always tell people that sometimes you hear like horror stories about child actors on set. I had such an opposite experience. It was such a lovely, kind, uplifting set. I learned so much being there, not just on how to be an actor, but also just how to be a good human being.
Which is amazing.
The people there are such good, kind people. They're like my family, not even just the cast, but the crew as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like we still all hang out. We do dinners. We go to see movies. We go to see like theater, like genuinely the best people ever. And they're like my family. I will be talking to my actual like biological father and refer to my dad on the show as my dad. It confuses people a lot when I say my dad's.
No, but like, I mean, you were like with them all the time. So it really probably did feel like your family. Cause like you kind of become, I was talking about this with someone the other day, that like you really become the people that you surround yourself with. And like, I'm always like your 5 closest people is like probably who you'll become. And so like we're with them all throughout like some of the most like important years of your life. So you probably learn so much and like really do view them as family. And it's very awesome that you had such like an amazing environment to grow up in, because obviously this industry can be really hard and really scary, especially when you're younger.
Yeah.
So it's really awesome to hear. And I feel like you can see that through the show, that everybody
100%.
Really did have such an amazing connection.
Yeah, no, it was so nice because a lot of people that I know who are actors, like child actors, growing up, because they do so many different things, they move around a lot and they're constantly in different cities. And it was so nice for me to have a stable, continuous place to grow up that was literally like my second home. I spent more time on that set and with those people than I did in my own house.
Yeah.
So it really was just such a great place to grow up and have like a stable childhood.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is such a good point. I didn't even really think about that like most child actors are moving from sets like all the time. And it was like really like a second home. That's so awesome. But like, what do you think that like is something that people don't really realize about like growing up on camera and on set?
I mean, I think one thing about it is a lot of people, like whenever you go into the acting film industry and everything, and especially if you are as a kid on a really big show, people kind of can prepare you and tell you like, this is what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
But it genuinely takes being in the shoes at that moment. You can't really be prepared for what that is like and all that comes with it. And it was such a great experience. But as a teenager growing up in front of cameras, there's a lot that you don't think about until the world is watching you grow up.
Right.
And I mean, like, I'm so lucky for it, but it's a lot of pressure.
I was going to say, like, I'm sure that it was like, it's really hard being in this space when there are so many eyes on you and like you're trying to figure yourself out, but people already have like a perception of who you are, or like they view you as the character that you've played your whole life, and like they don't really see like you for who you are. They see like your character.
Yep.
So like, how do you kind of like differentiate that? And obviously now with like your book and everything, like I think people see you more as like Raegan rather than the character that you played.
I mean, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because literally like 4 or 5 days ago, I was talking to someone, I just met them, and they had to apologize because they were like, sorry, I'm saying this, I've seen young Sheldon too many times. And I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'm like, I'm not my character, guys.
Yeah.
I loved playing her. We're very similar people, but I am not Missy.
Yeah.
Shocking news, guys. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. You heard it here first. But I mean, I think a big thing is a lot of people still see me as 9-year-old Missy. I'm almost 18.
Yeah, which is crazy to some people.
And so like I will go out and like go to events or with auditions and they're like, you are so grown up. And I'm like, that's what happens.
That's what happens.
That's what happens whenever you like, 8 years goes by. It's kind of a thing that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think my big thing is after the show ended, I really wanted to do other things different from young Sheldon.
Right.
Even just in like the acting space.
Right.
Where like I didn't want to do sitcom forever. Like it was such a fun show, but like that's not what I want to spend my entire life doing.
Exactly.
I want to do a horror movie or something. I want to do a drama. I want to do like different things.
Yeah.
And then with writing, I think a lot of people, because they still viewed me as that 9-year-old kid, they were like, well, you can't write a book. Guys, come on now.
Yeah.
I can write a book.
Yeah.
And so like that was a big thing where I kind of had to not listen to those voices that was saying, well, you're still this little kid. You can't do that.
Exactly. No, I was going to say that's like having people like have this assumption of you, and like they like kind of like put you in this like bubble of like this, because people still watch the first season where you're like a baby.
Yeah.
And then they just like don't think that, you're an actual person who is like growing up as well. Do you ever like find it like, or did you find it hard to like kind of figure out who you were while having all these people like kind of not like tell you who you are, but like in a way like kind of assume already?
I think I always say I got into the right business for who I am as a person, because I never have let like the internet or social like the world kind of like tell me who I am or define who I am.
Amazing.
Like I will sit down with my friend and like show like, look at this funny hate comment someone said. Like, isn't this the funniest thing ever? It's so silly to me. The opinions that matter to me are the people who I care about. And so my friends, my family, what they say and their opinion of me, I care about that. I say this quote all the time. There's this Tom Holland quote. You may know it. He said it in an interview. And he said, if you have a problem with me, call me. And if you don't have my number, you don't have a big enough reason to have a problem with me. But rather, like, literally such
perfectly said, and
I know.
So true.
It's so true. Because like, if you have an issue with me, but you don't know me, we're not friends or anything, then like, you don't know me as like me. You just see what you want to see. Yeah. And so like you can't have that big enough of a reason to have a problem with me.
No, exactly.
Call me. If you have an issue with me, call me.
No, it's so true. And I love that you're like so confident in that, because again, this industry is really hard for a lot of people, and like it can really take a toll on people's mental health, especially now with social media, and like people can freely voice their opinion on any post that anyone makes. It's like
crazy.
It's very crazy. And I think a lot of people can lose themselves in it. So I love that you just like have that confidence in yourself. And that's just like so important when you're like working all the time. And I love that.
Thank you.
But again, obviously you started really young. Was there ever like a moment when you were younger, because obviously you started when you were like 6 or whatever, that you realized like, okay, like my life is very different than other people? Because I'm assuming you did online school.
I actually was in person school until I got young Sheldon.
Gotcha.
So it was such a crazy schedule because acting wise, LA obviously is like the place for acting.
Right.
And so because I grew up in San Diego, that's where I went to like school, like in person. I always want to say public school, but that's not right. In-person school. And I would go to school. I would be there until like lunchtime. I would get the rest of my schoolwork to go, and my mom and I would drive up to LA, do an audition, and then drive home that night. And that was kind of the routine for years. Yeah. It was so crazy. I can't believe we did that. I make the San Diego drive once and I'm like, I can't do this.
That's how I felt. I grew up in New Jersey and I like did like dance and like modeling growing up, and everything was in New York. And I did the same thing. I would be at school, then I would drive literally like every day.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know how I did that, because I lose my mind in 45 minutes of traffic now.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
but then if you did that drive now, like if you went back to New Jersey and did that drive now, you'd be like, I can't do this ever again.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Insane. And like juggling school at such a young age, like it was insane. So
it's crazy. I'm glad you understand.
It's wild, especially being so young, and also like everybody around you like not really understanding is really kind of hard sometimes to like explain like why aren't you at school, or why, and like nobody really
understands. Yeah. I was very lucky that I had such a great school where they were like so just chill with me leaving in the middle of the day.
It's just so rare.
It's so rare. I was so lucky with that. And they were just, their biggest goal was making sure that I was staying on top of my schoolwork. So as long as I was continuing doing my school, studying, making like getting good grades, then they were fine with it, which was so great. I was so lucky to have them. But sorry, I'm totally forgetting the original question.
I also just forgot what I was saying. Oh, I was saying, when did you realize that like, you know, this is kind of, my life's very different than other people?
But I think really it took a while, honestly, because normal school until I was 9, and then filming Young Sheldon. The thing about filming a big show is whenever you're on set, you don't think about how many people are going to see it.
Right.
You're just on set with your cast and crew, and that's like all you really process. So I think honestly, it was whenever I probably was around like 12 years old, and I had that like, it was whenever TikTok and Netflix, like the show was on Netflix, and then it blew up on TikTok, and I couldn't go to the mall.
It's crazy.
And that was really weird for me because when I was like 11 to 13, I was a really big going to the mall with friends kid.
Right.
Like every day I would
like
go to the mall.
Activity.
It was the thing to do. And there was like two sides of that, where one side was I could go to the mall and I could walk around and not get like stopped. And then the other side was I would go to the mall and be seen by everyone and immediately get swarmed, and there would be a line.
Which is crazy, but you made a really good point of like, that's when like it got on Netflix and TikTok, and it reached like a different audience like at that point?
It reached kids.
Which because that's also like when I like first started seeing it on TikTok, because they would like clip it.
Yeah,
I remember
they put it next to like the slime videos and like the soap cutting.
I have gotten stuck. Like I've gone like on a deep dive. I think I've seen like multiple full episodes like literally on TikTok.
Yeah,
but it is crazy how it like completely like was like it
was a new audience entirely.
It's insane.
It was so crazy. I still remember whenever it blew up on TikTok, I went to a coffee shop and I went over to like the counter to order, and the barista saw me and she was like, "Oh my God, you're the kid on Young Sheldon." And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "I watched your whole show on TikTok."
It's so true.
It's so crazy to me because there's all the accounts that has like part 1, part 2, part 557.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's like, wild to me that that's like even, it's just like such a crazy like shift of like everything. I think I've seen like a million shows I didn't even know were like a thing.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching the next The Slime video. It's so true.
Yep.
But that's crazy.
Subway Surfers, all of that.
Literally everything.
Yep.
But like overall, I think that is just like it's such an amazing thing to hear because like obviously like there are so many diehard fans of the show. And I think like knowing that like family is like a real thing that exists like is so comforting because again, you hear these horror stories of like these people like having like terrible experiences and you're like, oh, like I loved this show so much and like I love that it is so real for you.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I'm such a fan of so many things myself. I consume so much media, whether it's movies or shows or books. And so whenever I hear like the same thing where it's like that is a genuine love and bond between the cast, one, you can see it. It comes through on camera
100%.
so clearly whenever it's like, I mean, even watching my own show, like if I get clips of the show on TikTok, which does happen, it's a jump scare. Jump scare. I have friends send to me be like, why are you on my For You page? I'm like, I'm sorry. But like whenever that does happen, I'm like, I'm going to watch this for a sec. And it's so funny because it's so true. Like even just seeing that episode and looking back, you can so clearly just as like almost watching it from an outside perspective.
Right.
Yeah, I can tell just how much like years ago, how that bond was already there. If I get a clip from the first season, you can just see how much we all love each other. And it's so beautiful and it's such an amazing thing.
Yeah. And I was going to say, it's probably also so like, in a way comforting to like see that relationship like grow. And like you can literally like almost in a way watch yourself like grow up.
It's like a video diary.
Yeah.
I always compare it to having a video diary. And especially because we were talking about this before, I have family in the South.
Yeah.
And so I didn't see a lot of them a lot of the time because
You're
just
working.
distance. I was working, they were working, flights are expensive, travel's expensive. Like I couldn't see them a lot.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool for me to be able to like almost give that to them as a like, you can watch me grow up.
No, I think that's so true. I'm the same way. I have family in New Jersey and my like grandparents are always like, my grandma's like, every night before I go to bed, I check your Instagram and your TikTok to see what you were doing that day. And I was like, that's so nice. Sweet. And it is like so true. Like you don't see them often. And for me, I am still so close to my family. But when I lived in New Jersey, I would see my grandparents like 4 times a week. Like I would go over to their house for dinner and like I lived with them at one point. So it's like they saw me grow up. And then when I moved here, it was like not like I don't see them as much anymore. So that is so true. It's so comforting not only for you, but for like the people around you. And that's so special. And I love that.
I love it. It was such an amazing gift to give. And then also me looking back, like I kind of hate watching the early episodes because I'm so little. And I'm like, oh no, it's like, I call it like little mouse me. Like my voice is like so squeaky.
But it's so cute.
It's cute. But then also I'm like, oh. Turn it off. But like it is really cool being able to like look back and see all of that.
No, for sure. And it's just like such huge years in your life and in everyone's lives. Like your childhood really shapes you. So getting to like see that and then also be surrounded by such amazing people for those years of your lives is like so special.
Yeah.
But okay, obviously now you just released your book, which is so awesome. So can you tell me like a little bit about like that whole process and like the writing process and everything?
The writing process, honestly, this is a great tie-in because my writing process, I was writing the book while on set.
Oh, wow.
So great little like transition there. I wrote half of the book while filming the last season of Sheldon.
Wow.
So I would be on set with my computer, and I would have my computer like literally like hidden behind me. They would say cut. I'd get my computer, put it out, write for however long I had, and then right before they would say action, I'd hide it again.
That's crazy.
And that's how I wrote half of the book. And then season ended, and then I got to have a nice calm writing process. It was so nice where I would like have my computer out and I would have like a nice cup of like tea or like a coffee and my cat and just music playing, and it was so nice. But it was funny because whenever I went in and did editing, you can see the difference between the chaotic writing part and then the like nice calm writing process. And I had to smooth it out a bit because you can see the transition and it's very funny.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, did you find it like difficult to kind of like switch between like your character on the show and then like also like having to dive into like the characters in your book? Like, was that kind of like hard, like if you were filming at the same time for you?
Honestly, I feel like I had a great preparation for being like switching those two like brain modes almost because I did school on set.
Right.
So I would go between like Missy actor brain and then also 10 minutes of doing school.
Right.
So I had to learn how to like switch my brain in between school, work. And so I was able to do that while writing, just kind of exchanging school for writing, which was really nice. My teacher was amazing. Where like she would count me writing my book as English.
Oh, that's so nice.
So it was so great. If I had a deadline, I'd be like, Miss Sandy,
please
listen, there's a deadline. I got to get this in. And she was so amazing about that. But yeah, no, it was so great being able to like already have that kind of foundation of knowing how to switch between the different modes in my brain. And also ADHD. Makes it so much easier. So yeah, it was nice.
No, that's great. And I was going to like, that's honestly so impressive because I feel like it is like hard for people to like really switch it on and off, like especially with just like acting in general. I feel like when you're playing a certain character for such a long time, you kind of just get like stuck in that like mindset. So that's like really awesome. And then how long was like the period of time from when you first started writing it to releasing it?
So I got technically the official writing process took me 6 months, like just writing the first draft. The whole process was 2 years.
Wow.
I started writing the book January 2023. So that was like outline, developing the story, all of that. I got with my publisher June 2023, wrote the book from June to October. I'm like really trying to remember this here. June to October. No. We're going to say this is true. It might not be true. Year-wise. June to December, wrote that, and then edited it from March to October of 2024. Finished editing it, and then marketing, doing the cover, all the things was from like November 2024 to September 2025 when the book came out.
That's crazy. That's honestly so awesome. And like, I just think it's just so cool, like that you're just like really got to like tell such an amazing story that like really like is so like, I don't know, just like you got to create everything about it. Like I think that is so amazing. Did you always like have like a want to like write a book or like everything?
I like so clearly remember whenever I was in school when I was like 5 years old, just pulling like one of my friends, she was for like 5-6-year-old standards, a great artist. I don't know how much that holds up now, but at the time I was like, you are amazing at this. So I was like, you are going to illustrate this. I'm going to write it.
I love
And so I wrote an American Girl doll, AU.
Oh my God, I love.
Where they had superpowers.
Oh, wait, that's kind of cool.
I know, right? And she illustrated it and I wrote it. And I got banned from the library because I wouldn't go socialize and I would write during lunch and recess.
Stop.
So I got banned from the library. And then that didn't stop me. I just wrote on the playground. That didn't stop me. I didn't care about that. And so I was like, I've been writing since I knew how to write. I would write little scripts for my parents and have them like act it out and then get so mad if they didn't know their lines. I'm like, no, this is the line. You have to do this. I'd get so upset about it. And then whenever I was on set and like in my spare time, I would write. I'm a big Pinterest boarder. Need a visual.
Love it. I love Pinterest. It's my favorite. I make a board for everything.
Yes.
New season, board. Literally everything. I have a Pinterest board.
You understand me. Yeah. Amazing. So yeah, I'm a very visual person.
Yeah.
And I need a Pinterest board for everything. And Pinterest, like, I could say so many things about Pinterest. I love it so much. It's amazing. And so I would be on set and I would get an idea and I would start literally making a Pinterest board for it. That's where I start off with any book. I make a board for it. It helps me get like just the vibe and like aesthetic of it. It's great. And so I would be on set, I'd get a book idea, and I always have a rule for myself because, like I said, ADHD, I hyperfixate on an idea. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever done. And then 3 months on the line, I'm like, I don't want to be doing this anymore.
Right.
And I get burnt out on it.
Yeah.
So I wait 6 months. It's the worst 6 months of my life when I have an idea and I can't work on it.
Yeah.
It sucks. I do allow myself, though, if I'm ever like, if I have an idea about it, so like, if I'm like, oh, this could be a scene that could happen for it, and it's like I'm not working on it, but it's just a random.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll write this down.
Yeah.
I don't allow myself to actively work on it.
That's
and so, really smart. Thank you. And so I wait 6 months. I had to learn it the hard way, of course.
Yeah.
I wait 6 months, and then if I still have like the same like passion or drive for that book idea or any idea, then I'm like, okay, it's time. And so whenever I would be on set, I would like wait that 6 months and then I would just write. And when I was 12 years old, I had this school assignment and it was a personification essay that I had to write. And at the time, as like almost every kid is, I had a really big like gem and mineral phase. Yeah. And so I wrote my personification essay on this gold nugget.
Oh, I love it.
It was great. It was, wow. I'm forgetting what it was called, but it was very creative. The main character, her name was Goldie, and she was a gold nugget. So cute. Creative, I know. So out of the box. But I never turned in the assignment, and I wrote it into a book.
No way.
And I wrote like a pilot on it and everything, and like kids show one day. It'll happen.
I was going to say, this has to happen one day.
It's like think like the Wildcrats.
That would be so cute, Goldie. I know, right? I could see it. I could picture it.
And so that was kind of like what started me being like, this is something I want to do like professionally and not just on the side. And so I went to my managers because the management that I'm at, they have a literary side.
Oh,
it was perfect. And so I went to them and I said, hey, this is something I want to start doing. And they got me a book agent.
Awesome.
And I was with him. I had an idea for a fantasy that we were working on that had like technical issues. So I paused that and started working on this rom-com.
I love it.
And here we are.
That's so awesome. I was going to say, like, when did you kind of like, because obviously you said you have a lot of ideas. Like, when did you really realize that like this was the one that you fully wanted to pursue and like actually like make into reality?
I mean, it was such a funny transition because I went from developing this huge world building, like think like Game of Thrones level world.
Okay.
In a fantasy.
Right.
Like developing that, putting all of that together. Pinterest board is crazy. I can show you after.
I was going to say, I kind of want to see that.
I'll show you after. It is intense. Developing that, I had an outline. I had a map. I have a world building document. I have sample chapters. The world building document, I'll show you that too. Are you a fantasy person?
I do love fantasy.
Okay, great. You're going to really appreciate the world building document. Working on that, so much thought had to go into that. And then pivoting from that to a rom-com
is
big shift. Rom-com is a lot easier than that. Yeah. And so literally it was like I have probably 6 documents for the fantasy one. And then I had 2 for the rom-com. It was literally sample chapters and an outline. Wow. And that was it.
That's crazy.
And then a Pinterest board, of course.
Of course.
I had to have that. And so it was such an easy like shift because I also read every genre. I say I read what I write. Like I literally, I will pick up any book. And so I knew so much about rom-coms. I've always loved them. Yeah. Read so many, watched so many.
Of course.
And so whenever I started working on the rom-com, before I even started writing it or anything, I was like, I'm reading them and I'm watching them.
Right.
So I read a ton. I watched all like the classics.
I was
all the
say,
like the 90s.
What was your favorite like that you read or watched?
Favorite that I've read? I mean, One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Highly recommend.
Never read.
It's a great book.
Okay.
And then favorite movie. It's a holiday movie, but I don't watch it as such. I will watch it in the summer. Any season, any part of the year, I'm watching it. It's The Holiday.
I love that movie.
It is.
It's so good.
Okay, wait, but did you see that there was the 2 people on TikTok who had their holiday moment? It was a girl in New York and a girl in London. And one of them posted and was like, hey, I want a house swap. Does anyone want a house swap with me? And this other girl who was in London saw it and was like, I've been wanting a house swap. And they house swapped for a week.
Are you kidding?
I'll show you after. It is my favorite thing.
That's so cool.
Actively was following it every day. I was checking in. I was like, how's it going, guys?
That's like the stuff I love about social media.
I know.
Like stuff like that. Like, I love it.
It was so amazing. I'm living vicariously through you guys. It was so cool to watch.
That's awesome.
I now need someone to make a movie on that as well.
Yeah.
Because like we had LA and the Cotswolds. Give me New York and London.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly,
I know, right?
I need to
so cool. And like the London girl was hanging out with the New York girl's friends.
Oh wait, that's like so cute.
Is it not like The Holiday? It's
that's
exactly
the
like The Holiday.
Same thing.
I know.
So good.
It was amazing.
Okay. Side note. Anyways, what you were saying.
But yeah, Holiday, I figured out was my favorite movie. And then after I did all my research, because a big thing in my book is that, you know, in the rom-com, even just in the book world, cliches and tropes are such a debated topic. Where it's, are they good? Are they bad? Do you like them? Do you want them in books? How to make them different? How to make them unique? And so I really was like, how, especially in a rom-com where there is such a big debate about that, I really wanted to make it different.
Right.
And so I was like, what if we made fun of them? So in the book, that's kind of what happens, where each chapter, there's a chapter heading, and it's a like stereotypical rom-com trope. And then the chapter is like, well, not really. So I think it's like the third or fourth chapter. This is one of my favorite ones. It's the heroine has a beautiful apartment, but is broke. Because like that's not going to happen in real life.
No.
Like you're not going to have this extravagant apartment that you can't afford.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's what the chapter heading is. But then in the like chapter, it's the main character having to like fix a faucet because it's leaking, hide mold spots. Like it's like an actual like apartment
like real
thing.
Yeah.
And so like it's just stuff like that throughout the book. That was so much fun to do.
I love that.
So being able to read and watch all of those rom-coms really showed me all of those different tropes, which was so great.
Yeah.
And I also just got to like say it was like a work thing because I was reading and watching movies. Like it was for work, guys.
It's for work.
It's for work. Don't worry about it. That's also how I like said when I went, because I went to London and Brighton to like study for the book.
Right.
And I was like,
so cool.
Which is like London and Brighton are my favorite places. That's where I'm moving. Like I love it there.
Yeah, like you have to.
I have to.
Yeah.
And so I was like, guys, I'm going for work.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm totally just going for work and not a fun vacation.
I do that all the time.
It's
such
the
a great
best.
thing.
If you
That's
can
what I did
excuse
for Coachella. I was like, I'm going to watch performances to study for work.
Exactly.
Same
if
thing.
you can excuse it with that, do it. Like it's the best thing ever. Yeah.
That's so cool. And honestly, like it just seems like such an amazing experience, like overall. Like I'm sure you got to like learn so much about like everything, and like you got to read and like really like just discover so many like new things. Do you feel like writing is kind of like an outlet for you to like figure things out for yourself? Because at least like for me, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, like with writing music, like I'll start like writing about what I'm feeling, but I don't really know what I'm feeling. And as I'm writing, I'm kind of like, oh,
yeah,
got it. Like that's what I was feeling in this moment or whatever. Do you feel like writing is the same thing for you?
I think like I don't start writing a book because of how I'm feeling about something. I have like when I have a book idea, it is the most random thing ever.
Which I love.
Like genuinely, I'll be having a conversation with someone and be like, oh wait, hold on, I gotta write this down real quick. Hang on. And so it's so random. But I definitely think that as I am writing something, I start to answer questions I have through other characters. So if I'm dealing with something, like if it's like a little thing that I'm dealing with, then I'll like be like, hey, my character, you're dealing with this now.
So we
have
can figure
fun.
it out.
And so then I kind of answer whatever it is I'm dealing with through them.
Yeah.
It's kind of great.
Yeah,
I love it. But
Yeah.
no, I don't ever start writing a book idea because I am trying to process something or trying to like learn something about myself. It just kind of happens.
Like
it's
naturally.
Great. Yeah.
I think that's like with anything creative, you kind of like, that's it, like with creative brains, that's just kind of how you process things.
Yes, agreed.
And that's what I've learned a lot about myself. Like growing up, I'm like, okay, it was like dance at first and that's how I process things. And now it's through music. And it's just like how the brain works right
it's
now.
great. I love it.
I love it. And now with this book, was there like anything that like the characters in the book like helped you through and like that you like saw yourself in?
That's a good question. I mean, I think at the moment, or when I was writing it in the moment, no, but I almost like predicted the future kind of, which is really weird because in the book, the main character moves from New York to England. And it's a very like last minute decision. She's moving on her own. She doesn't really like know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like moving on my own and like not.
Oh, you're actually moving.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm beginning of next year.
That's true.
Which I
London?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's really exciting. But then you think like that's in 2 months. And I'm like, oh God.
No, it's crazy.
And so that's exactly what happened with my character, where like it was so last minute where she just suddenly, because the whole thing is her mom sends her there after her mom died. In the will, she gets a scavenger hunt that sends her there.
So awesome. Like such a great idea. Like I love it.
Thank you. But so like it was so out of the blue and like just not planned for Avery. And it's kind of how it is for me, where I was like, I want to do this. Yeah. London's my place. London's my city. I knew I would end up there one day.
I love
so that. It is kind of crazy how like I did end up kind of predicting it, but it was so helpful to me now writing the book then and having Avery deal with like moving and being uncertain about her future and everything and not knowing what she's doing. And then now me going through that 2 years after I had the idea and seeing like, well, it worked out for her.
It's going to work out for me too.
It's going to work out for me too. Even though she's not really a real person.
But
she kind of is.
Yeah, she's real.
In my brain, she is.
No, I love that. You really did predict the
I
feel like it was like your brain like simultaneously like being like, okay, like this is going to happen. So we're going to like talk about it now. Yeah. So like you're good for later.
No, the amount of things that like I predicted in this book, genuinely so weird. Like I need to talk to other authors and see if this is like a common thing.
Yeah.
Where it's really weird.
But I feel like it's almost like this kind of thing of like speaking things into existence.
Yes, like manifesting.
I feel like it maybe is like that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't believe in manifesting, but I do. And I there's a mix of me like believing in like genuinely like, oh, like this could be a thing.
Yeah.
But then also just like putting it out into the universe and subconsciously striving for that if you manifest it. Because if you don't speak it into existence, then like it's not out there. But if you speak on it and you like say like, this is something I want to do, like this is going to happen, then subconsciously you're working towards that.
100%.
So I really do think manifestation is a thing.
No,
manifest your life away, guys.
I agree. And I like was talking about this with my friends not that long ago about like how like your words, like the words that you speak really do make a difference and they do matter. The words you speak to yourself or to others or even just like internally, general, like and internally, like everything matters. Like that's why like talking to yourself positively is like so important and to others, because like it really does like just like that's subconsciously like you are gonna start to believe everything that you say. It's the same thing as like as stupid as like, you know, like fake it till you make it with confidence. Like it's so true because you'll just subconsciously start to believe what you're saying. Yeah. And if that's negative, then you just like get into that negative mindset. So I 100% agree. I think speaking what you want and what you dream and everything is so real and so important.
I just watched a panel recently talking about literally that and like the negative voice and everything. And it was Brittany Snow was talking on it.
Oh.
She's so smart and genius and just amazing at like her like speaking and just wise in general. And she was saying that she, as literally everyone does, there's a negative voice and a positive voice. And the negative voice is for her what used to be really loud. And it came first. And that was what she listened to. And then afterwards, there was this little tiny positive voice that she would just ignore, but it was there. And then slowly she learned to adjust it so that it wasn't listening to the negative voice, But just listening to that second positive voice, and slowly that positive voice became so much louder than the negative voice where it drowned it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, can we all aspire to have that? Because like it's so real. It's so true. And it takes work, but like it definitely works. Like it's definitely
a real thing for sure. And it does take work. Like, you know, because like you said, like everybody is constantly dealing with that. It's not like something that is just like you can like flip a switch and all of a sudden it's like
suddenly I'm
going to be positive today.
Yeah.
It's not, but over time, like you really do like start to see a difference in everything in your life.
Yes.
And it's also very true with like the people that you surround yourself with. At least I think if you're
100%.
surrounding yourself with positive people who also like talk positively about others, but also about themselves. Like, it will shift your mindset completely.
I mean, like, it's how, like you said earlier, like the 5 closest people to you, you kind of reflect who they are.
Right.
So if you're surrounding yourself with positive people who speak positively about themselves and others, then like you see that and you're like, oh,
exactly.
I respect these people and like what they're doing in your brain is like, well, then they're doing something, right?
Right.
So I'm going to start doing that. And then you also start speaking positively about yourself and about others.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like such a real thing. And like, it's so important that I'm like, everybody needs to do this. Everybody needs to speak
Everyone
positively.
get positive.
Everybody get positive. It's so easy. Just be positive.
Just be positive.
It's so simple. But no, it is so true. And I do think that probably is what happens in writing as well, as you just like subconsciously, just like everything just like is like already manifested.
Exactly.
Which I love. And I'm so excited to read this book. Guys, I just started literally last night. I was like, I'm going to pick it up right now because I've been like reading a billion different things at once. That's my problem is I'll read like so many things.
I literally think I have like 6 books I'm reading right now. It's so bad.
I love it because I'm like, I need that to like keep going.
I genuinely think that is like my ADHD brain that like I can't stay on one book. So I have to like have a few. What I do is I have like a car book. I have like a book in my room, a book for like when I'm like eating meals or stuff. Yeah. A book to like take out and about. And it really works for me.
I also agree that is something that like works for me as well. But it's also because my whole life I've done like a million different things. Like I've never just been doing one thing. I needed to be doing everything. Yeah. So I think it's the same thing where I need to be reading multiple things, watching multiple shows. And it's just, I think it's the creative brain. It helps keep it flowing.
It helps keep it going. Yeah.
But do you ever see yourself writing more in the future? Is that like something you want to continue to pursue?
You're never going to believe what I'm doing right now.
Yes. Core. Yeah. That's awesome.
I fear I'm never going to stop writing.
I was going to say,
you guys are stuck with me. I'm writing forever.
We love it.
I have a few things I'm working on right now. I'm working on, I have gone back to that fantasy that I mentioned before. I have a lot there already developed. Awesome. I don't know. I want to, how far in the book are you? Because I can reference the character if you know it.
I literally just started yesterday.
Okay.
But you can reference and then I'll put it together.
So whenever you meet the roommate, their name's Maddie.
Okay.
That's my favorite character. Okay. They're my baby. I'm very protective of them. When I was writing the book, I knew they were like a complicated character. They have a backstory that is interesting. That little pause is me just thinking on their entire backstory. Like, how do I summarize this into one word? Interesting. And it was fun it was fun knowing that. And then being able to write the book and put in little Easter eggs with their background in mind. And so there's parts where like, Maddie will reference their little sister or something. And then the main character is like, Maddie has siblings? It's like, I didn't know that. Like, there's a lot there that you don't know. And so I want to write a prequel on their story.
That's awesome.
I have like a little bit there. I got my Pinterest board. I have that. We got the start. There's a few things, like there's a few scene ideas I have in mind. I always say whenever I develop a book, it's like the connect the dot like drawings where you have like the number 1 and you have like number 30 and then there's like the dots in between and you just have to draw the lines. That's how I write.
I love that.
So I have the beginning, I have the end, may change a little bit. Yeah. And then I have scenes in between and then I just got to connect it.
That's so cool. That's such an awesome, like, I was going to ask what your writing process is like and that's so cool. Yeah. I love that you like just like fill in the middle. Like it's so.
Literally, that's exactly what it is. Awesome. I fill in the middle. So I have my point A, I have my point B. Having the point B is very easy because obviously point B is the rom-com that just came out.
Right.
So that was kind of already there.
Yeah.
And then I have a few scenes in the middle. But yeah, this one's just really, the prequel would just be showing what happened before the book that's out now.
Yeah, I love that. I love prequels. I think it's so
I
fun.
love prequels.
I love it. I don't know if you saw the show We Were Liars.
I read the book.
I
love We Were Liars so much.
They're doing a season 2, which is like, I guess the prequel.
It's the second book, yeah.
Yeah, so I need to now read it.
See, I need to watch it.
You need to watch it. It is so good. I honestly didn't know it was a book when I first started.
Book is so good.
It. And the show is so good, so I can only imagine how good the book is. And I'm like, I like to read before I watch. That's just like,
thank you.
Like, I think it's just so much better. And now I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't read the book first. So I'm like,
you could do the second book first, though. Yeah.
But I do love prequels. I think that would be so cool.
Okay, wait, question though for you. Did you watch or read Harry Potter first? Have you not seen it? You haven't seen it?
No, and it's like so bad of me. My mom is like appalled by it.
I'm such a Potterhead.
I know. And I was like, the fact that I even have to admit that I haven't is so bad. And it's like on there. It's like up there with like,
you gotta do it. And it's the holidays.
I know.
It's your time.
I need to. I think it's the time to do it because honestly, when I was growing up, I didn't read much. And it's kind of been like a newer-ish thing that for me. And it's really intimidating. The book is really thick and it intimidates me. And I'm just like.
Okay, so whenever you start it, I'm going to give you some tips.
Okay.
Whenever you start Harry Potter, the first 3 chapters, a tad slow.
Okay.
You're not at any of the fun magic parts yet. I actually, I don't admit this easily. When I first read Harry Potter, I read the first 2 chapters. I was like, this is an awful book. And I put it down. And then like 2 months later, I was like, okay, I'm trying it again.
Yeah.
And so I tried it again. I got through those like first 3 chapters. And then I was like, this is the best thing I've ever read in my entire life.
Yeah. My mom is like, you need to. She's like, you don't understand. It's like magical. She's like, you're going to
literally
love
is.
it. And I'm guessing you read before you watched?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. That's what I'm going to do.
Yep. And then whenever you read/watch it, you'll understand why October is such a very difficult month for Potterheads.
Okay.
Let me know when you read it.
We're going to come back to this conversation after I do. And this is my like mission for this holiday season. Yes. I need to. Because
I love this.
Again, it scares me, so I put it off, but I'm going to face my fears and I'm going to.
You got this. It's so much fun and you're going to appreciate it once you've done it.
No, I love it. And I love like when books are made into shows, which I'm like, would you ever want to make your book into a show?
I want it to be a movie.
Or a movie.
So bad.
Yeah.
I actually, one of the characters in my book who you will meet later on, her name's Rowan.
Okay.
She is written entirely based on one of my best friends. Like there is literally the only difference is their name. Do you know who Darby Camp is?
Yes, I do.
Entirely on her.
Stop.
And I wrote her in it because I want her to come to England with me when I film the movie because it's a when and not an if. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Sure. And so I wrote her in. And when I gave her the book, I didn't tell her. And I just said, here you go. Let me know what you think. Let me know if anyone really stands out. And then she got back to me and she was like, oh my God, is this who I think it is? And I was like, maybe. So now she's going to have to come to England with me and be the character.
I love that. And I 100% it's a when. I feel like it just needs to, and you're gonna be living there. It's just gonna all work out.
Amazing.
That's so awesome. And I just am so excited to really read it and then also see it and then read everything else that you like come out with. That's just awesome.
Thank you.
But for like someone who's watching who wants to write or act or anything, like what would be your biggest piece of advice?
I mean, I think coming from personal experience, I think there's a few little anecdotes I would say. One is like if you are younger, wanting to do anything creative or just literally anything in life.
Yeah.
People will say like you can't do it because you're however old.
Yeah.
There are authors of really successful books who are 15.
Right.
Literally, the author of a book series, Raegan, biggest like one of the biggest fantasy series in my opinion. He was 15 when he wrote it.
Crazy, but
like it's genuinely like people will say you can't do it. Kids are also so creative.
So
the imagination's unlimited whenever you're little.
Yeah.
And like the fact that people try to limit that just because it's an age thing and they don't have experience to write, like, so crazy to me. I could debate that for so long.
Yeah, I agree.
Do not let someone say you can't do it limit you. You got this. Also, like putting yourself out there is such an important thing. It's so scary to do. It's so scary to send this thing that you've made that is technically like your child out into the world. And especially whenever it's a book or something, whenever it's just been you and that idea for so long and no one else has really seen it. And then just to send it out there, terrifying thing to do. So scary. You have to do it. Like you will not get noticed, and your book or whatever you're making will not get noticed unless you are willing to send it out there. It's terrifying, but you got to be brave and you got to do it. Also, like you will get a lot of no's. That is just, it sucks, but that is the world that we live in. 100%. There's also so many people who are also trying to send out their ideas. It's not a personal thing. It may feel personal, but there's just so many ideas and so many creative people out there that you will get no's. 100%. But if you care about whatever it is that you're making, whether it's a film or a book or acting or an audition or literally anything, if you care about it enough and you care about the project and what you're doing, it doesn't matter. That no doesn't matter. You still love the project. And whenever you get that yes, all of those no's are going to disappear. 100%. They're not going to matter to you because that yes is proof that you can do it. You got this. You have what it takes and you love it enough to keep doing it. Yeah.
I love that. And that's all so true. And like so amazingly sad. And we're just going to leave on that because it was so great. And
thank you.
Everything. And honestly, this has been so amazing. And I so loved getting to hear everything about you in this book. And it's just making me so excited to go home and read it.
Yay. So, when is our 5-hour podcast though? Because we could talk forever.
Like literally, we're going to have to come back for part 2 because I could continue talking to you about
I'll come back.
Literally everything. But thank you so much for being here. This has been for having amazing. Me. And then thank you guys for listening and watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.